everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tanya. I make weekly videos on holistic health and nutrition. So if you're into that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Today's video is a 5-day meal prep, and the recipes are not only going to be gluten and dairy free, but they are going to be easy. We don't want to be in the kitchen all day long. We want to be in and out and have some delicious gluten and dairy free recipes to enjoy throughout the week. The meals will also have plenty of diversity, focusing on different protein sources, fat sources, and all kinds of veggies. And one thing I really like about this meal prep is that the meals are freezer friendly, so you can store them in the freezer to keep them fresh. And of course, you know, if something comes up and you don't eat all of the meals you prepare this week, then you're not going to be wasting any food. All right, enough chatting. Let's get right into this meal prep. And I do have a little gift for you guys that I will be sharing with you at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around until the end. For breakfast, we are making a breakfast bake, and this is kind of like those egg cups that everyone make, but honestly even easier, because remember, the theme of this video is easy. So for this recipe, you will need 10 eggs, 1 pound of ground pork, and pasture raised is always best here if you have that option, 1 yellow onion, 1 medium sweet potato, 1 cup of spinach, and a little bit of avocado oil, salt, and pepper. First, let's wash, peel, and dice the sweet potato and bake it in the oven at 450 Fahrenheit degrees until the cubes are nice and soft. The timing here will depend on how big you dice your sweet potato, but generally it takes about 30 minutes. While the sweet potatoes are baking, let's get working on the rest of the ingredients. We're going to dice our yellow onion and then add it to a pan with a little bit of avocado oil on a medium heat. Once that's been cooking for a few minutes, we can go ahead and add in our ground pork and cook that until it's well done. I also added some of this breakfast blend by Primal Palette. This is not necessary, but adds a ton of flavor, so I'll leave that link down below if you want to grab it. Next, we're going to grab a large bowl and we're going to crack the 10 eggs and then whisk them with some salt and pepper. By now, your sweet potatoes should be done, so we're going to go ahead and coat a dish with some avocado oil, then add the sweet potatoes, our onion and pork mixture, and then the chopped spinach, and finally our eggs. You can give it a gentle mix, and then we're going to pop that in the oven at 400 Fahrenheit degrees for 30 minutes or until the eggs are set in the middle. And there you go. Now you have a high protein, delicious breakfast ready to go in the morning. I like to have something like this with some fruit as well in the morning. I like a savory and like sweet balance. Today I'm doing a combination of strawberries and pineapple, but again, you could do whatever you prefer, or you know, any fruits that are in season in your area. All right, next up, let's prepare our lunches for the week. We're technically preparing one meal, but with a few variations that will keep things interesting throughout the week. So we're gonna make some fajitas, but we're gonna have a chicken and a shrimp option, and then we're gonna have a bowl and then an option with tortillas. So for this lunch prep, you will need 5 bell peppers. I usually like to do a combination of red, orange, and yellow, 1 large red onion, 2 limes, 4 to 6 chicken thighs depending on the size, 1 pound of shrimp, 1 cup of rice, and if you eat paleo though, you can easily swap that for some cauliflower rice. 4 to 6 tortillas. There are a few gluten-free options, but honestly, I usually go all the way and do grain-free. I really like the siete ones made from coconut or cassava flour. But another favorite of mine are these ones by Sana, which are coconut flour base. Then you'll either need 2.5 avocados or these holy guacamole cups. Either are fine. Honestly, the ingredients are so good on these, the holy guacamole, and it's very convenient and easy. And lastly, you'll need some cilantro, some fajita seasoning, salt, and pepper. And by the way, for the fajita seasoning, I usually get one by Primal Palette, or honestly just make my own. I'll be sure to leave the recipe for that in the description box. The best part of this meal is you pretty much just slice everything and toss it in the oven. It's super easy. Even if you don't meal prep this ahead of time, it's such a good weeknight dinner because of how easy it is. Start off by preheating your oven to 350 Fahrenheit degrees, but it should already be warm from the breakfast bake. So now let's just slice our bell peppers, our red onions, and I usually just slice everything lengthwise. And then I'll usually do 2 bowls and split up the veggies, one with a little bit more veggies than the other, and you'll see why this makes sense in a bit. Then we'll move on to slicing the chicken thighs, and then I add them to the bowl with the least amount of veggies. And then I'm sure you guessed it, we're gonna go ahead and add the shrimp to the other bowl. So now you have 1 chicken fajita mixture and 1 shrimp. We still have to add our fajita seasoning, so we'll do 2 tablespoons of that per bowl and add some avocado oil and toss to coat all of the protein and veggies. Then we'll get 2 baking sheets with some parchment paper, and we just have to pour out the ingredients and slide it right into the oven. If your oven can't fit 2 baking sheets, then you could use 1 large baking sheet and just have one side chicken and one side shrimp, or you could just do one after the other. We're gonna bake these for about 40 minutes. While the fajita mixture is baking, we can prepare our rice. If you have a rice cooker, that would probably be the easiest way to cook it, but honestly, stovetop is also super easy. You'll just need 1 cup of rice with 2 cups of water, add that to a pot, and then I always add a little bit of salt too. And you'll just place that on high heat until it starts to boil, and then I'll place the lid on the pot and turn the heat off completely and let that rice cook in the pot for about 12 to 15 minutes, and every time you have the perfect rice. Once the rice is ready, you can split that up into 3 different containers and then add the fajita mixture on top once it's ready. So you're gonna have 3 lunches with rice, and then the other 2 will be with the tortillas, and you can just eat that like a taco. You can also go ahead and skip the tortillas and just make more rice. And then we'll go ahead and add our lime, and then depending on whether you take your lunch to go or eat at home, you can either add your cilantro now or just before you're going to eat your meal. And there you go. I can't wait for you to try this one. As you saw it, it's so easy to prepare, and honestly, it is one of my favorite recipes ever. All right, on to dinner. We are cruising through this meal prep. So for dinner, we are making some mini meatloaves. They are so tasty, so filling, and loaded with protein. So I can't wait to get into this one. Similar to what we did for a lunch, I want to keep things interesting for you guys. So we're gonna have 2 different sides for the mini meatloaves. So for 2 of the dinners, we will have a side of a sweet potato mash and some broccoli. And then for 3 of them, we're gonna do cauliflower mash with some green beans. Now, as always, feel free to swap anything that you don't like, or you would just prefer something else. If you don't like broccoli, swap it out for something else. Or if you don't like cauliflower mash, you can just do sweet potato mash for all 5 recipes as well. My goal here is to always give you a few options, but of course you can do exactly what I'm doing, or you can customize this meal prep to your preferences. So for the mini meatloaves, you're gonna need 2 pounds of ground beef. Grass-fed is best here if you have that option. 1 yellow onion, 1 celery stalk, 1 carrot, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1 egg, some ground cumin, ground garlic, some paprika, and some salt and pepper. So once again, you'll want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 350 Fahrenheit degrees. We're going to start off by sauteing the onions, celery, and carrots in a pan with some avocado oil on medium heat. While that's sauteing, you can add your meat and pretty much everything else in a large bowl. So 2 pounds of ground beef, a 1/4 cup of ketchup, an egg, and then all of our lovely seasonings, and then mix well together. Once the veggies have been cooking for a while and they're soft, you can add those in with the rest of the ingredients and mix everything well. And then I highly recommend using a silicone muffin tin. This will make your life super easy. Just grab some of the mixture and stuff it in there. I'll leave a link to this below too because it's great for meal preps. And then let's bake these for about 40 minutes or until the internal temperature is about 160 Fahrenheit degrees. While the mini meatloaves are in the oven, let's get working on the sides, starting with the sweet potato mash. We're going to wash, peel, and cube 1 medium sweet potato, and I recommend doing small cubes. Then you'll need some kind of steamer. I just use this IKEA steamer that goes directly on your pot. So you can just add the water to the pot, bring it to a boil, place your sweet potatoes on top, and cover with a lid until the sweet potatoes are nice and soft. While that's cooking, we're gonna make our cauliflower mash, and you'll see for the next few items, I'll be leveraging frozen veggies as much as possible because they are already washed and chopped, which makes everything easier for your meal prep. I like to use this rice frozen cauliflower, then cook it with some avocado oil, salt, and pepper. And then all you have to do is toss it in a food processor to make it nice and smooth, and voila, so good. And by the way, if you've never had cauliflower mash, it tastes exactly like potato mash, in my opinion anyways. Lastly, we got our 2 green veggies, and again, if you're doing a big meal prep, why not use a few items that make things easier? I'm going to be using some frozen broccoli, and I usually thaw this one out, and then it's super easy to just toss in a pan with some oil, salt, and pepper. And then similar for the green beans, I usually get something already washed, maybe even cut ahead, so that it's ready to be cooked. And once everything is ready, you can go ahead and assemble your containers. There'll be 2 mini meatloaves per container. We'll do 2 sweet potato mash, 3 cauliflower mash, and then you can do the green beans with the cauliflower and the broccoli with the sweet potato mash, or mix it up, and then you're all set. This is a super healthy meal loaded with veggies, healthy fats, and quality protein. But honestly, my favorite part of this meal is how comforting it is. It's so good. All right, so we have all of our meals, but obviously we need some kind of a snack or sweet treat to have on hand throughout the week. So let's end this meal prep with a super simple chocolate bark with some roasted hazelnuts and salt. And if that doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will. So continuing on with the easy theme, we're gonna use some dairy-free chocolate chips, coconut oil, roasted hazelnuts, salt, and that's it. So easy. We'll melt 2 cups of chocolate chips with about 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and you can either do this in the microwave or on the stove top by creating a double boiler. Once the chocolate is melted, spread it out on a baking sheet with some parchment paper, add your hazelnuts, some salt, and place it in the freezer for 30 minutes to let it set. And then you can take it out and roughly slice it with a knife and store away. Also, if you ever need a last minute dessert, this is a great recipe for that. All right, we did it. We just prepped all of our meals for the next 5 days, and we even have a little sweet treat. I really hope you enjoyed my 5-day easy gluten and dairy-free meal prep. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have a little gift for you guys. I have a free PDF with the recipes and the grocery list for this meal prep. So that link is going to be in my description box, so you can grab that. And of course, if you make this meal prep, I would love if you could share with me on social media. My handle is Tanya in Health, and it is also right here up on the screen. And if you like these recipes, feel free to check out my Paleo ebook, which has a 40 easy gluten and dairy-free recipes, and that will be also linked in my description box down below. And lastly, if you like this video, I'd be so grateful if you could smash that thumbs up button, and yeah, that just lets YouTube know that I'm putting good content out there. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better.